the Federal Reserve has lost their minds. Let's first start out. The Federal Reserve, new world record over this week. Congratulations. Great job, great job, great job, great job. New world record, Federal Reserve balance sheet hitting an all-time high. We are now at $8.449 trillion. They can't stop printing. Jerome Powell and all of his buddies, they literally can't help themselves. If I drew this chart on a piece of paper, you would think I was drunk. That's what the chart looks like. It is just up and to the right, and there is no stopping them. They have the ability to create, produce, and distribute money, and boy, oh boy, is that what they are doing. $8.449 trillion, but $8.5 trillion. Remember, if we go back to 2008, 2009, the Federal Reserve's balance sheet was $900 billion. That means, you know what? We're only $500 billion away from a 10-bagger. The Federal Reserve is going to have that 10-bagger. $500 billion away from a $9 trillion. And when they hit $9 trillion, the Federal Reserve hit the 10-bagger. And I promise you, if they hit it this year, we will throw a 10-bagger party for the Federal Reserve.
They're going to throw a party.
They got tired of seeing everyone else with their 10-baggers. And we're like, let's get one of our own here.
Trust me. The Federal Reserve, there's recently controversy that they're all day trading as well as they're doing this. So they had to have an ethics review and that maybe the central bankers shouldn't be YOLO longing options while they're literally printing to the moon. So when the Federal Reserve hits the 10-bagger, we will throw a party. We are only $500 billion away. My guess is that they have a shot at hitting it this year. New world record of the Federal Reserve balance sheet. If we go ahead and we look at the total assets and the percent change year over year, starting in 2002, here is the crazy part. So first, back in the early 2000s, we were definitely growing a little bit. You know, you had 5, 4, 2, 2%. But from 2007 to 2008, big boy number, 150% growth in the Federal Reserve's total assets between 2007 and 2008, global financial crisis. That's when we decided, damn, we got a new tool in the toolbox. Warm up the printers. Let's go, baby. 150% growth in 2008. Now, we went minus 0.2%, 8%, 20%, minus 6. Then we, 2013, 38%, put a big boy number on the board, 11%. Then we did a little tapering. We started to go down a little bit. But you know, Corona said, let me help you. Let me help you, Federal Reserve. And when Corona struck, the Federal Reserve said, we know this playbook. We're ready to rock and roll. 76%. Huge number in 2020. 76% gain in the, or percent change in the Federal Reserve's assets in 2020. Now, some people say, 76 was only about half of what we did in 2008. True, but it was off a way bigger base. So on an aggregate basis, we printed hundreds of billions in 2008. We printed trillions, that trillionaire energy in 2020. So 76% growth in 2020, 2021. We still, imagine this, we're having 14, 15% growth from 2020, which had 76% growth. Our compound annual growth rate is off the chain over the last couple of years in the Federal Reserve balance sheet. And so if you look from 2002 to 2021, the increase in billions of dollars is 7.7 billion, or I'm sorry, a trillion, 7.7 trillion on the Fed's balance sheet. That is 1,054% growth. Now, what is hysterical is that 1,054% growth is way more than gold's up. It's way more than bonds are up. It's actually beaten most asset classes. So if you simply were just a Federal Reserve, if you could invest in the Federal Reserve's balance sheet, you did pretty well over the last 20 years or so. You absolutely killed it. And so when you start to think through what the implications of this are, well, why don't we look at the Fed's balance sheet versus the S&P 500? And man, does Wall Street absolutely love the Federal Reserve. Charlie Belilo, I believe is how you pronounce it. He's absolutely killing it. All three of these charts come from him. If you don't follow him on Twitter, highly suggest you go follow Charlie. He's all on top of this. The Fed's balance sheet has exploded. 1,054% growth since 2002. and the S&P 500 total return is 640%. The Fed is outperforming the stock market. Jerome Powell is the best investor on Wall Street. Now, the S&P 500 obviously continues to just go up and grow like a weed. It continues to go towards the moon. And so what occurs here is the stock market is serving as an inflation hedge, which is pretty nuts when you think about it. And so the S&P 500, unlikely to slow down anytime soon because the Fed's balance sheet is unlikely to slow down anytime soon. What do we think about the video game numbers that the Fed is putting up? The Fed, this is like impressive stuff here.
What was our guess a few weeks ago? Like they would get to 10 trillion? Was that
9 trillion by the end of the year?
9 by the end of the year?
I think they got a shot.
So they may hit 10 next year.
They got a shot. We need one. Come on. Listen, Biden, this is me asking you. We're friends now. Come on. Help me help you. I need Biden, I need Yellen, and I need Jerome Powell. I need you guys to work together, get in a room. I need a $500 billion stimulus package. That's all I need. If you hit me with the $500 billion stimulus package, boop, over 9 trillion, we'll get the 10 bagger, we'll throw the party. So listen, if you want me to throw a party, that's what you got to do. I just need a $500 billion stimulus package. But I mean, it's pretty crazy when you in all seriousness, this is nuts.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, if you look at historically where we were at 10, 20 years ago, it was nowhere even close to this, obviously, and it's appreciated. The balance sheet has grown tremendously in value since then. So it's crazy. I mean, last year was obviously difficult, and we've talked about this a million times of kind of what was necessary and what wasn't, and they're in a bad position. But when you have these different tools and you're using them so aggressively, there's obviously kind of factors that are going to come off of it, and other assets are going to appreciate in value. And assets like Bitcoin, which we obviously talk about a lot here, have benefited from that, right? Because of the inflation, because of the loss of purchasing power, and all these other things. So it's not really surprising, to be honest, like given what's been happening over the last year, that it inflated so much. We saw all the packages coming out. We knew that this was coming. But when you zoom out for a second and you look at it for the past 10, 20 years, in totality, it's like absurd.
There were points last year where I said that they were going to print 5 trillion and people were literally like ready to like track me down and murder me. Like they were not happy. They were like, you're crazy. Stop fear mongering, all this stuff. Newsflash, they printed 5 trillion. Told you. And the reason is because that's the only tools that they have. When there is an economic crisis, they can only do 2 things. They can manipulate the interest rates or they can print more money. That's it. That is all that they can do. And what we saw was there was a recession. People freaked out and they came in hot and heavy. They took the 2007, 2008 global financial crisis playbook and they said, why don't we add some zeros to it? And we are going to drop nuclear monetary policy and fiscal policy bombs on the market. And investors loved it. They loved it. They got so rich off of this. So guess what's going to keep happening? Every time that there's a market correction or some sort of drawdown, you're going to immediately see them step in. They are going to bring the absolute heat with more monetary policy and fiscal policy stimulus because they know that it works. It's impossible. You can't have the market go down if every time the market starts to look like it's going down, they step in and they manipulate the market higher. And that, my friends, is what is different now. We do not live in a market that actually is representing what is going on in the economy. We live in a market that represents the monetary and fiscal policy decisions of our leadership. Hey guys, bang, bang. Thanks so much for watching the Best Business Show today. And don't forget to check out our partner, SoFi. They make all this possible. They're a super app that lets you save, spend, borrow, earn, and invest all from one single platform. And if you go there today and you sign up for a SoFi Invest account, you can get between $5 and $1,000 for free from SoFi. Not everyone's obviously going to get $1,000, but everyone gets something. Don't say that I never did anything for you. Go check them out at SoFi.com/pomp, download the app, and go ahead and open an account. SoFi.com/pomp, and make sure you come back and watch more of the Best Business Show. We're going to build the biggest business show in the world, and we need your help.